Cub and Chub. This ugly ass recording is in progress.
Not ugly ass. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm talking about myself, people. While I am beautiful, talented, gorgeous, I also have ugly moments, and this is one of them. So you're gonna see this light go in and out. But I mean, y'all don't watch it anyway, so it is what it is.
That's right. We're so overpowering visually that they can only handle the audio. You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, why the fuck would you watch this monstrosity? Anyway, hi.
Hi. I have a question. I've got like some updates for you.
Well, I'm feeling negative, so I promise not to be negative toward your updates, but I will
Okay.
be negative toward myself, and you'll just have to deal with it and understand that it'll pass.
Fair enough. I understand that. You
Yeah.
ready?
Yes.
I think I figured out steam room etiquette.
Ooh, do tell.
Okay. So I've been going to this steam room pretty regularly for the last year. Okay.
Mhm.
And just to put this out there, I'm really just going to sit in a steam room and relax. I'm not looking for anything extra, if you will, any hanky panky, as the
Sure.
kids say, right? So I go to the steam room, everything's fine and dandy. I have a good time. I'm there for a few months, and a mutual friend of mine also goes to the steam room, and frequently he's like, "Oh, did you see the one guy in there that's always insert some lewd thing that might be happening in a steam room?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I never see that. Like everybody's pretty calm and cool in the steam room." And he's like, "Really? Every time I go in there, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah." I'm like, "What? Like
Oh.
that's
Oh
not
yeah, you were feeling like, why not in front of me? Like,
right." And so the running joke is that, obviously I'm not attractive enough for people to think that they can like do stuff in the steam room when I'm around. They're like,
mm,
"No, you can stay in there with your towel on." So that's our running joke and whatever. So a few weeks ago, as I've gotten more comfortable in the steam room,
mm.
I have gone from staying fully wrapped to sitting on a towel, but like everything's out there, right?
Yeah.
And which is not uncommon to see people in there doing such things.
Yeah.
It's very interesting as I get more comfortable in like being nude when I notice people in there like not only fully clothed but wearing shoes in the steam room, like just doing funky stuff. Like people,
Yeah.
get your shit together. Anyway, but as
Ooh.
I've gotten more comfortable, I've like been sitting on a towel and like okay with opening up and like, not feeling weird. But Tim, the second I started having my towel open,
Yeah.
these signals started flying.
Yeah.
And so, and
Once
it
you
had to
are
become
open, the signals come open.
right.
Yeah.
And so, what I didn't realize is that, uh, like the first couple times I was in there without with my towel open, I was probably in there with people who were also nude and just there to not do anything, right? Like everybody's just here to like be calm and do the
Maybe. Or
same.
maybe they just said, oh, he's closed.
Right? No, I'm saying like when I first started opening, it wasn't immediate. So
Yeah.
like I see other people in there and they're not throwing signals. But because I go daily,
Mhm.
what really starts to happen quickly is like I have my towel open and then I'm sitting there and I'll like scratch my face or something
Yeah.
and the other person scratches their face.
Hmm.
And I'm like, and the first time it's like coinkydink, right? We're
Yeah.
all stretching and like trying to get comfortable in the steam room. And then I scratched my stomach and the person scratched their stomach.
Yeah.
And Tim, that
It says,
thing
I
that
see
happens,
you. I see you seeing me.
yes, that like, and that this thing goes up in my brain. I'm like, oh, this is how it starts. This
Yeah.
is how like,
Yeah.
and so like
You
when I
can't just be
really
like, dick, dick.
right, it's like,
Like,
oh hi, yeah, hi, I live drive through service too. And
yeah.
so so when the first time that happened, I realized what was happening and like immediately stopped because I'm not trying to do that in the steam room.
Yeah.
But
Of
what
course.
I realized is that this is how the gates kind of open. And since then,
Hmm.
trying to gauge whether this is an opportunity where I should have my towel open or not becomes a fun game
Yeah.
because when I do it and nobody does anything weird, I know that we're good. If I do it and people start throwing signals, I have to like then turn into a statue and not do anything to make them think that I want to play this game, right?
Or just
And
say no. Like,
that's the other thing, because if I say no before they offer anything, like I have had to tell people no. It has gotten to a point where somebody's been like, they'll come over and sit next to me, and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then they'll go, do you mind if I touch myself? They'll like do that stuff. I'm like, I'm good. Like I immediately like as soon as they start talking and offering, it's
Yeah.
off. If they start signaling and I just go no, I don't want to. That's too soon. I think I got to wait until a very clear signal that they're trying to do
I guess
something.
because like I imagine you being like, oh, like my sweat is coming down to my eyebrow. And you doing like this, and then doing like you'd be like,
Right. It's like, ooh.
no, no. You just be like,
I
you're just like,
my favorite thing that's happened so far is I've bent like I'm sitting down and I bend over to stretch to
yeah,
like get my lower back. So
yeah,
I'm in a sitting position, go down to get my lower back, and as I come up, the other person's head was like meeting me as I was coming back up. Like I was like,
yeah.
oh hi. I was
I
like,
was like, no,
hi. How's it
no thanks.
going? He's like, oh, and they try to do small talk and get comfortable. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm good. But yeah, it was just like, oh, I've been so closed off. That's what
yeah.
it was. I was like, I was not inviting any kind of conversation or anything in there. That the second I open
Absolutely.
my towel, it's like, hey, how you
Yeah,
doing?
well,
Yeah. So anyway,
it
I got a
is.
crash
It
course.
is the like you have to present yourself. Like
Yeah. Yeah. You have to open. You have
that's
to be open for
every
business.
that's a life lesson. That's just like you got
So
to put yourself out there.
this is kind of like we've known each other a long time. I think you know that I am an idiot when it comes to flirting.
Yeah,
I I have no concept when somebody is flirting with me directly.
yeah,
I'm just I'm just dumb with that shit. So and like I could imagine that if I didn't pick on up on the signals quicker in the steam room, it could have gotten really weird real quick. It's like, oh,
yeah.
you sure are friendly. And it's like,
Oh,
and I start choking, and I'm like, no, what happened? Um,
snap
take out
out
your
of it.
laptops and your backpacks. Um, I don't I don't read. I just never think people are interested in me. And so when people start doing it, obviously, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, they're so sweet. Oh, they're so kind. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'll
yeah,
take a
yeah.
ride home with you. Like like
I think that's like a lot of people though. Like I
I
don't when somebody's overtly sexual toward me, I'm like, oh thanks. Like it's not like it's probably gonna be a no because I don't do public stuff. But I appreciate it. Like
yeah.
on my profile, I do accept not safe for work photos.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is okay, but like just know that you just have to be very overt for me.
Right. You have to be very blunt and let me
Yeah,
know what's up.
yeah,
I think I told the story on here where I was on a what I didn't realize was a double date
mhm,
with an ex-boyfriend and his new partner and then their friend who they were like trying to get me to, hook me up with, but I didn't really know at the time. And we're sitting at the table and he is playing like thigh touch with me, like we're sitting next to each other. And I'm
um,
like, he's so nervous. This is so sweet, or whatever. Like at one point we're like ordering dinner. He puts his hand like on my thigh. I'm like, it's okay. Like you don't have to be anxious. I won't bite. And it
yeah.
wasn't until he cornered me in the bathroom hallway and put his hand down my pants. I was like, oh, okay. Hi, it's nice to meet you
Now,
too.
see, I'm not that bad. I know. Like for instance, over Labor Day weekend, I went to a club, uh, and I kind of like I was with people. I was drunk. It was a PAX club.
Mhm.
So this guy was like standing where I was sitting. And so like he ended up standing between my legs because I mean it's a plat club and we're
Right.
talking and I'm like, yeah, and literally talking about the type of men that were there and how it's so awesome to like be here with people who, all find each other attractive and whatnot. And he's like, what kind of person do you like? I described quite the opposite of him. Um,
Mm.
but unbeknownst to me, and my lower half has him like has my legs have him like trapped. Like,
Ah.
because I don't know, like I normally sit crossed. So like
Mm.
it wasn't me trying to trap him. My legs were just crossed
Yeah.
and he was in between my legs. So like at the end he's like, so when are we going for a session? And I'm like, what the hell is a session? I really
Uh-huh.
didn't know. I was
Yeah.
like, what is a session?
Right. Are you
And my
masseuse? I don't.
friend beside me was like, bitch, you know what a session is. And I was like, oh, no, baby, we're not doing that.
Oh.
I was like, no, baby. And then that's when I realized, I was like, I've been giving you signals like crazy. And I really didn't mean to. We're just
Right.
in a packed club
Yeah.
and I'm drunk. And like, I just wanted to cross my legs. Like, and you were there and I
Yeah.
didn't care. Like, and he went off mad.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean,
I was like, I was like, I described a different person than you are.
yeah. Yeah. I kind of told
And
you.
I said older, said taller, said like more melanated, like
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
things. And I understand that like my powerful thighs, you know, swallowing up your little legs. Like what's
Yeah.
up? And I was just like, oh no, baby,
You're not the one. You're not the one.
he was much younger than me. I was like, no, thank you.
We will not be ushering and making love in this club. This is not going to
No,
happen.
absolutely not. I'm
No.
Beyonce. Um,
Absolutely not.
yeah.
Let me ask you this: Do you think that you also suffer from that thing where like you don't like people who like you, and you only like people that you have to chase?
The older I've gotten, no.
Okay.
The younger I was, yeah. It
Yeah.
was very much like, oh, I like this one person, everybody else doesn't matter. And like I could probably think over my life about the times that I like just didn't see the signs that somebody liked me because I was so into maybe their friend or something
Yeah.
like that. I mean, being gay is a bunch of like people who are into people who are into other people who are into other people who are into me. Like so,
Right. 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 Right.
it is. But nowadays, it's quite the opposite. If you don't like me, if you aren't showing me that you like me, want to be around me, want to talk to me, want to see me in different places, like take me to the movies, take me to, not saying that you have to pay for these things, but like wanting to like experience me and you in different scenarios of life.
Yeah.
Like, then I just love me. I love my couch too much.
Yeah.
Um, I'll no, we can clock out. Like I was telling you, the guy that like wanted to talk to me and he wasn't talking. Like I was like, it's saying yo, that's not enough.
No. Need more effort.
What happened to like actual words
Yeah.
and like saying I like you? Nobody says I like you anymore. Nobody wants to date. That's what I will say about my ex. Like he made efforts,
Yeah.
a
Sure.
lot of efforts to like make sure that I knew that he was into me.
Yeah.
And I guess I got spoiled by that. And I was actually just talking to my coworker about this today. I was like, Atlanta ain't it. I need people who are interested and intentional. And that's not here.
Mm.
But yeah, so like I don't like people who don't like me. What about you?
Well, I mean, I think when it's the same thing. When I was younger, it was definitely more like that. There's one time in my life, and I think I told the story about Andy at some point on this podcast, but the Andy situation lasted for 2 months.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things like when we first saw each other the first time, we were both like, I want that. Like
Yeah.
it just happened to happen at the same time. And that's why it worked. If he
Yeah.
came in and I was kind of like, whatever, and he pursued me, I would not have wanted it. And
Yeah.
probably vice versa, right? It's like, oh, I'm good. But we both like, it was just that instant reaction, like that instant attraction. And then for 2 months, was it 2 months? It might not even been, it may have been 4 weeks. It was that spell. Like
Yeah.
I was just intoxicated and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
That's what I
Um,
love. I love the first like month, and then I'm done. I'm generally done. But like,
yeah. Well, my thing is that I was still hung up on a straight boy,
yeah.
and so it was like a spell. Like I was so infatuated and attracted to Andy that
Yeah.
the second like it was like I didn't think about the straight boy for 4 weeks, and
Yeah.
then I remember it. I was in the
It's like,
shower. I was in
oh,
the shower. I was like soaping up, and he hit like the straight boy hit my brain. I remembered him, and
ugh.
in that instance, the ick set in with Andy.
Oh,
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, all of a
yeah.
sudden, Andy wasn't the straight boy that I would have been chasing for years,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it felt terrible
Yeah.
because Andy like was in,
Yeah.
and I was like,
He wanted
hey,
you.
yeah,
And it's like,
and
oh,
I turned into
well,
a sourpuss like immediately. I was like, hey, oh yeah, no, that's
oh my God,
and
it was
then
teenage love. Like,
young love.
yeah.
And then like he went with me to Radford when I applied and like went out for my scholarships. Like he was in
Oh.
that really weird window. Um, but
Honestly, he probably like. I think sometimes we get what we need at the time.
it was like
Yeah.
what I needed from Andy was a reminder that it could happen.
Yeah.
You know, like I wasn't ready to get over the straight boy for some time, but Andy was such this like big distraction
Yeah.
and was like my first like openly queer like thing. That was the other
Yeah.
thing. Me and David had dated and we I was out to like his group, but I
Mm.
was still kind of halfway in the closet and not talking about it to friends and family at that point. Um, but then Andy was just like, "This is my boyfriend.
Yeah.
He was a rugby player. He's like, oh, just
So we love rugby. Shout out to
rugby boys. Oh,
or just rugby in general. Like, shout out to you. You really get people in shape, and you shape people up.
it
Yeah.
gets you together.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there are some girls that play rugby that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. No,
I'm like, I see
that one
it.
girl in the Olympics, I was like,
Yeah.
take me home tonight. I was here for it. Oh
It's
my
just,
gosh.
it's a good sport. Like, anybody who wants to try it out, man. I did.
Yeah. I went out for one practice and I couldn't walk for a week. But you can
And
figure that out.
because thick thighs
Thick
will do
thighs save
that.
lives.
Like,
Woo!
yeah.
Oh, don't fuck around with rugby.
Ugh.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm not in that mindset anymore where I only want the things that I can't have. That's such a
Yeah.
fucking dangerous
It's
and empty
such a like,
game.
it's because you don't, you don't value, well, I won't say
Yeah.
you don't value yourself, but you're like, you just don't have that love for yourself that like you just get a long time. Like, when you spend time with yourself over years and years and you go trials and tribulations and dealing with bullshit and bullshit ass people and work and the amount of shit that you get through on a day-to-day basis, you start loving yourself in a
Yeah.
way that is like, I'm only putting in energy and effort into people who see this, who see it for me, who like really care about seeing the journey that I've had because it's me and it's the
Yeah.
only life I'm gonna get. So like if you don't add to it, no. It's so many people that will.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
only learn that with time. You
Right.
don't there's no 20-year-olds that, well, I mean, I'm sure there are, but like generally there are no 20-year-olds. It's like, I love myself. So forget Silent Bob and Jay. No. Like,
No, I mean, and it's hard to love yourself when you don't even understand yourself.
yeah.
Like you're just
You don't even know yourself.
you don't know what you want. You don't know the good and the bad of it because you haven't lived anything yet, right? So it's like,
God, the amount of people that I have wasted this body with. Ugh.
but they
Anyway,
still dream about it. They still want it
most of them do, yeah, for
every
sure.
fucking day. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I put up a post, and people liked it the way that they liked it, and I was like, well, some of these people, I'm like, wow, y'all think I'm ugly because you just assume nobody else is gonna like it, so you liked it, thank you. And
I didn't think that, by the
and
way.
then other people did like it, and I was like, oh yeah, 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 I remember us. Like,
Hmm.
so, but yeah, shout out to like blocked people can now see our stories and pictures and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to that bullshit.
Yeah, because that I didn't think that was going to be a thing for me until it happened. I was like, oh, well. We now take a break for Uber Eats. Uber Eats, if you want to take a couple thousand and give it to us so that we can have a commercial, please, please oblige us. Thank you so much, Uber Eats. Bear is rich now with his DJ Barebones money, and he is now doing Uber Eats often. So he's now one of the rich people. So enjoy.
I'm back.
Yay, we're back.
Um,
Hella Mega, what's that?
Hella Mega. This was the Hella Mega tour from 2022. This
Mhm.
was Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy
Ooh,
tour
no,
that I
that's
couldn't go to, and so Dan,
oh.
it was still COVID-y,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was still COVID-y, and Dan and Michelle. I had a ticket, and Dan and Michelle got me a shirt as a
Oh,
sorry you couldn't go. So
very
Hella
nice.
Mega tour.
Shout out to Dan and Michelle. We love you.
Have you drank Beyonce's bourbon yet? I know you said you were going
Absolutely.
to. How
Yeah.
is it?
It was delicious. It's strong.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, obviously, it's probably strong because I drunk. Oh, hi, washed out. Um,
There you are.
washed out.
There you are.
Um, just like Beyonce in these blonde wigs. Um,
Again, I've got no comment, obviously.
we know you don't comment on black things.
I do
Um,
not.
anyway, Sir Davis is delicious. I hope that it is. Speaking of alcohol,
Sorry.
well, I am 2 weeks into Cannonball, so I'm drinking water
Hey! Oh my god.
because I gotta hydrate if I'm gonna be out there in the sun with these tops. But
Girl,
yeah.
I had somebody in my chat asking me if I had room, like, on the
Oh
Cannonball
no, I
chat.
saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, that
He
old
like,
black man. I was
yeah,
like,
he got a side chat going. He's like, hey, you need somebody in your room? I'm like, oh, sir. Thank you,
I
but
saw it
I'm
before
good.
you did. And it was a couple days before you said anything. I was
Well,
like,
I did. So
ooh.
I don't know about side chats. I'm learning about the chat features and how deep they go. Like, I didn't realize there was a side chat. It didn't even tag me. Like, I didn't have a notification. So I was
Yeah,
like, oh, what's this? And there were 4 chats in there, and one of them specifically about me in my room. I'm
yeah,
like, whoa, okay.
yeah.
But I responded, and he responded back. So I think we're good. If we run into him, hello. I was like, oh no.
I mean, I'm sure we'll run into him because it's going to be a small world.
I'm like legit. Like at this point, the amount of people looking for a roommate. Like, I kind of want to bring a blow up dummy with me to walk into the room so that people think I'm already rooming with somebody.
No, I don't care. I'll say no.
I'll say no. True. You
That
just say
was a
no.
complete sentence.
Yeah. You got to walk back across the street to the other hotel. That's okay.
I'm
It
so
happens.
sorry, but the West End is not for you. Go to the
No.
East End. I don't
I'm so
know.
sorry that my card worked and yours didn't.
No, I'm not going to do all of that. That's a little rude. That's a little rude.
I mean, it's rude, but you know,
I would just be like, I have the room I have, and you have the room that you
you
have,
have the room you have.
and I suggest you stay in the room that you have.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm so like the hobosexuals that are going to be in those hallways.
Yeah, I
I'm like,
hope they're attractive. So
I hope they're at least cute. That's fair.
to me,
To you. I hope they're cute.
everybody's attracted to somebody.
That's right. Everybody got to be somebody for somebody, right?
Yeah, the people who are for Bear are not for me, and vice versa. Like, well,
Who's the
I don't
one?
know. You like a little bit more people than I do, so
Yeah,
I kind of like could go with one leg.
yeah. I think Monet is our only mutual, like, I like Monet, but you're like, if Monet happens, Monet's mine. So back up.
Yeah, absolutely. If Kevin Burton,
Because neither one of us wants Bob.
um,
Look at that.
he's just a cancer,
Right.
and he's much smarter than me, and I can't. I just imagine him like critiquing me in a way that's gonna be like
That is exactly my concern. Like
yeah,
I'd be in the room with him and he's got to be the smartest person in the room, and that would
yeah.
get on my fucking nerves.
And he's gonna say something that was actually truthful,
Right.
and probably didn't mean anything by it, and it's gonna turn me off and also make me enraged.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna hurt my
I'm gonna
feelings.
say something that was unwarranted.
Yeah,
And
you would.
then I will never be around any drag queen ever again. So
Right. You got to keep the distance and be safe.
yeah, like that June 22nd is something, man. It's a difference. Like
There's a line, there's a meridian, and it got crossed.
21st, 22nd, those are cancers.
That's
Those,
right.
yeah. I'm not a cancer, I'm a Gemini.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. So like, but Kevin Burton,
Mr. Burton.
Mr. Burton,
Let's spit up my wine. Mr. Burton.
um, he's like the only skinny person I kind of like live for. Like, I don't really usually go.
Would you
for
categorize him as skinny?
now? Have you seen him
I
recently?
mean, I've not seen one in a couple weeks, but I've seen him in his thongs and like.
I mean, the ass is the ass. It's always gonna be.
That's the thing.
You like ass.
I fucking love ass.
I like
And
dick. Like
I just, and we know what Kevin's got there, but no, I feel like I feel like there's a certain level of hip dumb and butt dumb where you can never go into skinny mode. Like he might be smaller than he's ever been, but I can't call those hips skinny.
when
I
I see ab, you're skinny. Like
I mean I don't carry that totem, but I understand what you're saying.
when
Okay.
I start to see ab and like V, you're getting skinny, and I'm like, I still love you. I still love Monet,
Yeah.
but generally, it's now because I love the personality. Like not
Yeah, I'm fully in love with Monet, like full concept. Love
the
it all.
face and the personality are things for me. So
Yeah.
like, but if I didn't know the personality, I can't say that it would be a thing.
That's
Just
fair.
because like when I like to lay on somebody, I mean I can lay on his ass, but like
I mean, a pillow's a pillow, but
Yeah.
that would be the only thing. I mean,
I would be ouch. Like
ow,
I don't want to do
Monet,
that.
you shredded bastard.
I'm like, ugh. Can you pick me up? Doubtful. Like
I think
I think maybe Bob could pick me up from the
Bob
sheer
could probably do.
Yeah, but I like he would be like, the mass of your circumference is just
Your mass at your gravitational pull right about here. It's like, all right, Bob, thank you.
you could stand to lose a couple pounds, and I'll be like, you black ball bitch. Like
Yeah, Bob on stage being funny, love it. Bob in my
Love
kitchen
it.
giving me advice, could never.
no, that's
Not
why
my
I
cup
haven't
of tea.
written in. That's why I have not written in.
I think Jacob's really cute. I don't see
I,
pictures of him very often, but he's such a geek, and I fucking love it.
I know. I knew. Yeah, that's your
Yeah,
type.
those big thick glasses and his camera. I'm like, you geeky bitch.
The little tiny
Just a
little
little. I just want to put him
brown
in my
haired,
pocket. Just want to
little
take him out.
brown haired gay.
So cute.
You and Bob could definitely have threesomes because you two like the same type of person.
I don't. Well, I mean, Bob also his dating past. He seems to be open to things
He likes
beyond
it. He
beyond
says he
Jacobs.
likes extremes, but
Yeah.
like I think he loves little brown white boys.
Maybe he's got a type.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The type that he's marrying.
Okay. You ready? All right. Clear your brain. Clear your
Okay.
brain.
The powers that be, clear my space, clear my me.
What have you been singing out loud in your apartment the last day or two? What melodies?
1900 by Victoria Monet.
Say it again. Word search time.
1900 by Victoria
1900.
Monet. I also have been singing it's a rendition of Made for Me that is on a particular Instagram account.
Mm.
It's called This Is the Session. This is the Session. It's basically this lovely night of singers that they get together in Dallas and they do it's basically a live band karaoke type of thing
Hmm.
but for singers. Like
Ah.
I don't mean like you can kind of do something that's kind of cute. No,
Yeah.
these girls were born and bred for this. And this girl is singing, I don't know her name, but she's singing like Made for Me, and she's like, body to body, body to body, skin to skin. It's so good. I don't know. I like,
Ah.
that's with that. I'm also obsessed with a couple gospel songs.
Gospel songs. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, and they were talking about Amy Winehouse, and they were talking about her influences, and were talking about her backing band, and her backing band was with, oh, and of course I'm forgetting her name, and I feel so bad, and the Dap Kings,
Cub and
Sharon Jones.
Oh, okay. I
Sharon
don't know.
Jones and the Dap Kings. So she like really came up in the early aughts and the early teens.
Mhm.
Um, so her that backing band was apparently Amy Winehouse's band on her albums, and then Amy passed, and Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings kind of went on, and then
Gotcha.
unfortunately Sharon Jones also passed.
Ooh.
But was listening to this podcast about Amy Winehouse and like these artists that were kind of around her, and part
Mhm.
of that podcast was talking about Sharon Jones, and they played these clips of her singing gospel, and I was on a walk, and like sometimes music just hits you and
Listen,
overtakes you.
I'm not saying that people should really listen to gospel music um, for any sort of religious reason or anything like that, but there's just such a honesty in I can't speak for all gospel music, but like specifically black gospel music,
Mm-hmm.
like there's such an honesty. A lot of times there's such an urgency in like the like lyrics
Mm.
that really just resonate in a way that bring such emotion out of you. And forget, the particular, Jesus and Lord and stuff like that. It's just somebody crying out for help.
Yeah.
And like who isn't crying out for help these days? Like so a lot of times I listen to gospel music one because it's nostalgic for me in the life that I once had. But a lot of times it's just like an answer to a query that I have in my life that I can't answer
An
myself.
answer to a prayer, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's just literally like and it's simple psalms and hymns and things of that nature. Like we used to sing these things in church, and my mom used to sing them around the house, and I didn't understand it until like I got older. And like there's a particular hymn that my grandmother, I never met her, but like people would tell me when I was younger that my grandmother used to sing at Wednesday night prayer service, and it had to do with like I thank God for keeping my mind, like,
Mm.
and so a lot of times we have a lot of mental health issues, right? And so to ruminate and to think and to sing that very song and to like connect to something that is like before my time, that even before me people were in my family trying to hold on to their mental state.
Yeah.
Like that is so it gives me connection in ways that I like. Specifically, I don't connect to family a lot because I don't have a lot. So like those things in those songs really help me kind of keep some sort of connection in ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that got deep.
No,
Sorry.
no. I mean, it was good. I do not have that kind of connection to gospel music in general. I didn't grow up with it. I wasn't surrounded by it.
Yeah.
My biggest influence on it, it really is you, just talking about your passion for it,
Yeah.
and the occasional thing I might try to listen to when you recommend something. But that Sharon Jones piece and listening to her, right before she's about to pass, like that situation where like she can barely get up the stairs to get to perform because she's so sick, but
Mhm.
then she's on stage
And the voice.
and the voice and it hits her and it's like you wouldn't know that she's knocking on death's door. um
That's one thing
like
I struggle with. Um I am I'm gonna cry. Um I am noticing that my voice is rapidly changing,
hmm
and
that's okay, baby.
it my voice my voice is the one thing that like I connect with my mom about,
Yeah.
and it's not like I sing things that I've always sung and I don't hit those notes the way that I
hmm
could before, and it's not I don't want to be perfect or anything like that when I'm singing, but like when I'm singing I normally am singing through an emotion and a feeling and a want of some sort, and to not be able to do that anymore, like the thought of that is just like very hard,
yeah.
because it's like there's a piece of me that's gone from both like me and like what I what I grasp and what I like hold so tightly, because I don't
hmm
have much things from like my family.
right.
I'm like that is what she gave me,
hmm
and it's not it's not getting any better, and I don't know. It's just it's something that really like one day I won't be able to sing, and I guess that just means that she doesn't exist in this
Oh,
iteration of my life anymore. So
so one thing
what?
we obviously know as we get older is our bodies change, right?
Yeah.
And um there are people who are paid millions and millions of dollars to go out on stage and pretend to do what they could do when they were 20 and when they were 30, right? And you are still here and you still have a passion and a love for that voice, but it's going to change over time. And that's just
Yeah.
That's a sign of age. It's not a sign of a loss of connection or a loss of passion. And I would say, you might be 80 years old and you might not be able to do the runs you once have been able to do, but that love and that passion, you're gonna sing until your last day. And whether it's 7 octaves or three, you're gonna know that, and that's
But,
gonna be there.
but
But it
why
doesn't change. It doesn't
have the,
change the hurt. I know.
why can't I have the 27 octaves?
But could I please have the 27 octaves?
It's not fair.
I know.
It was mine. And now because of like stupid things like heartburn.
Now I gotta take a Zyrtec or whatever.
And I'm just like, that's literally the only thing that sucks about getting older.
Yeah.
I don't care about the gray hair. I don't care about the gray pubes. Like, I don't care that like no matter how much I try to fucking diet, the weight's just not gonna go away. That's just what it is. Like my skin is still soft, supple, and that's all that matters. But
Amen.
like it's just like that is the one thing that you think it is like in it like I said, I don't care about the tone and stuff like that. I just care about like it coming out.
The control that you've always had. Yeah.
Yeah, like just getting like sometimes the note doesn't even come out at all. It's that's and I'm just like, God, this is gonna suck when it the day that I'm singing but I'm not. Like and I like shout out to you, Mariah Carey, because like we gotta talk. Yeah. And I still don't know her. Like
All right, I'm gonna give you a second. I'm gonna
yeah.
ask you what's making you live this week, but I'm gonna go first. Just
Okay.
give you a second. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good.
I love you.
I love you too.
Um, what's making you live this week, Tim? Well, I'll tell you, Bear. So two things, and I'm gonna
So weird.
right.
Hey, what are you living for, Bear?
Thank you. Um, two things. One kind of sentimental, one not. I'm gonna start with the not sentimental. Uh, TV. We're so back. We're so back right now. I'm fucking living, and I'm so excited. So
Yeah.
right now we've got English Teacher. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
I
It's
saw a few clips.
fucking in love with it. 6 episodes in, I'm hooked. It's so good.
Trixie,
Um,
shout out to you.
oh, so we have that. We got Agatha all along, which I'm still fucking loving every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tonight, after we're done with this, I'm gonna turn on and watch the season 3 premiere of Abbott's Elementary.
Oh
Fucking,
wow.
that's back.
Yeah.
Fucking loving it. There's an anime that's fully out that me and Al are kind of like getting through that came out this year called Free Ren. That it's just if you want a good cry, there's 27 episodes we're working our way through, and it just kills me every day. That's the drama we're watching. Um, I just finished Interview with a Vampire on Netflix. Tim, this is one of those things where I fucking hate it that a show will take a 2-minute clip and do the most disgusting horror thing ever I've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
very upsetting, but it's 2 minutes of an otherwise beautifully awesome dramatic show.
Because it's gotta get the straights in.
Well, that's the thing. So we don't have to go into it too far, but I know Interview of a Vampire from the 1990s movie.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Spoiler
alert!
alert.
Spoiler alert! I'm not going to talk about the plot in general, but the movie came out in
Skip
the
2
'90s with
seconds.
Brad. So what?
Skip 2 minutes.
Yeah, skip 2 minutes. Yeah, but yeah. So Interview with a Vampire came out in the '90s with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. I love that movie. It's stupid. It's campy. What I didn't know is the book it's based off,
Yeah.
which is extremely gay,
Yeah.
like straight up gay. That they didn't do in the '90s movie because Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise wouldn't do gay shit, right?
Yeah.
So I know the movie and I love it, but don't have the queer aspect to it really down. The show is so gay,
Yeah.
and they make Brad Pitt's character Louis black. So
Yeah.
now it's a black queer Louisiana gothic or Tim. This show is fucking amazing. And unfortunately, for people who can't handle graphic stuff, I don't really love graphic stuff, but I can deal with it. But there are other people in my life who would love this show and can't handle it because there's a 2-second kill in the show, and it's extremely graphic. Like it gives Game of Thrones a run for its money.
Yeah.
But it's like 90 seconds of the episode, and it's like fuck, if they took this out, like it would hit such a wider audience. But
Yeah.
it's also a vampire show, so it's about killing and blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking love it. It's really good. Just finished season 1. So yeah, TV. We're so back. That's part 1.
Nice.
Part 2. I'm gonna try to do this without me crying. Part 2 was listening to you and Derek, and on last week's episode, you and I have a how do I want to say this? You and I, we banter in a way
Yeah.
where we're good. We can make fun of each other. We can have a good time. We cut each other down, and at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Derek really is a pretty sweet soul. He is incapable of doing a lot of that, if you will. And so listening to him like tell stories and stuff, and him, I forget what the question was at this point, but you asked him a question about something he's never said, or anything. You were trying to like get a little dirt, and he was just like, I mean, I tell him everything. He's my best friend. Like it was
No. I was not trying to get you. Don't do that.
Oh, no.
You're trying to dirt me up.
No, but you were trying to like.
I was trying to get more like of something that would make you cry. For honestly.
Oh well, I
was
mean,
like, tell me something that you haven't told him yet. Like that's what I said.
It was very, very sweet. And I was listening to this, and it dawned on me that
Why people don't use washcloths? Yes,
the washcloths, you were dirty. You played dirty.
I did not. Y'all are dirty.
No, I literally don't play dirty. No, the washcloth thing, that's one of those things like where you tell a joke and he might not be in on it, and I'm like, you so mean.
That wasn't a joke. It's research at this point.
I refuse to believe that you don't know what you were doing.
It's research.
I'm gonna stop. Because that's not what this is about. So
at least
I was listening to it, and I realized something, Tim, that I am surrounded by survivors. And when I think about Derek, and you wouldn't know it with where he's at now, but where Derek came from, like Derek could have easily been a statistic, could have easily been with what him and his family struggled with growing up with different things around financial situations and substance abuse, where Derek finds himself and how he kind of quote unquote pulled himself up by his bootstraps, if you will. He is just this amazing example of what you can do when you're committed and you put your mind to. Obviously, when I think of you, we don't have to get into literal survivor stuff, but like again, the fact that you are upright and functional to me is like a fucking miracle every day, of strength and just like perseverance. That's right. And then what really started making me weep in my car as I thought about this was my sister.
Yeah.
My twin who's not a twin.
Girl.
Sarah, I cannot believe the things she's been through and still chooses to get out of bed every day.
Yeah.
I'm just surrounded by these people who will persevere and find a way and are beacons of light and hope for me. And I was just listening to Derek talk, I haven't heard Derek talk to somebody else about our relationship. That's not a point of view I've heard before.
Yeah.
And like when he opened up and said, like when I first met Bear, he was a moody lead singer and I did not like him. I was like, yeah, I remember that. I remember we were not close when we first met. We did not hit it off initially.
Yeah.
Um, but he's now like my oldest friend. It's like, and I would do anything for him and his family. And it's like, I don't know. That was just a really, I was listening to that with like a smile on my face and thinking like, I've got two really good people in my life that
And
I
your
really love.
Uncle Bear, Uncle Peemy.
Uncle Be Me. So yeah, that's what I'm living for this week. I went on very long. I'm so sorry. Tim,
Hmm.
what's making you live this week?
You can never go on too long. Um, well, I will follow you with the TV thing. Um, Stars has a show called Three Women. It
Ooh.
is really good. It has the actress from uh, Nola Darling from the Netflix show. Um, oh, she she gotta have it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's her. And also two other actresses. Don't know their names. Haven't really seen them in things, but
Mhm.
that's because I don't watch a lot of TV. They're very good as well. Has Blair Underwood. Oh, so good.
Nice.
Um, this particular couple, Blair Underwood and I want to say her name is Miss. I'm just gonna she. You know who she is.
Okay.
Um, but they play a poly couple, and yeah,
Ooh.
it's
Three
really
women.
yeah, they play a poly couple in this. But yeah, it's really interesting. Shout out to my coworker Keith. He gave me his stars account because you hoes don't have stars. Um,
Thank you, Keith.
yes. So I'm living for that. I'm also like, because of how I just balled on this fucking show. I'm really um deep diving into like soulful voices.
Mm.
Um, that's why I am obsessed with this page on Instagram called This Is the Session. Um, it's just so many good singers, like so many songs that we know that are redone in a very gospel, soulful, like raspy way sometimes.
Mm.
Some gospel songs that like just hit in ways that I have never hit before for me. So yeah, I'm living for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, unabashedly, truly, amazingly.
Where can people find us?
You can find us anywhere there is a tear stained pillow. You can find it in my room tonight. You can find it probably in Bear's car.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's some yeah.
But mostly and importantly, you can find us at cubandchub.com.
That's right, cubandchub.com, where you can listen to our episodes or buy our merchandise. You can send us a message at wearecubandchub@gmail.com. We are coming up on our 100th episode here in a couple weeks.
100.
So yeah, so if you guys want to send in an audio message, we'll play it on that episode. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you to
Yay.
everybody that we've reached out to. We got some people who are gonna step up and send us in some stuff. So super excited about that.
Love that. Love
Um,
y'all.
yeah, 100 episodes, almost 2 years strong.
No, we
Um,
haven't cried on an episode in a
yeah,
couple.
it's been a minute since we openly wept on an episode.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Sometimes you need it. So
Why'd I have my water? I don't want to dehydrate.
I love you, Tim.
I love you too.
Everybody have a good week. We'll see you next time. Okay. Mwah!
Bye. Sex.